So for this one, I'm down on my own lake again. I haven't really done a lot of fishing here at all this year. I've just kind of left it alone all summer just to try and let the fish have their own sort of way. See if I can get them to grow on a little bit more without the kind of like disturbances. We're now into October now, so I'm going to see if I can catch a few. Now for this session, I'm down on the Central Island. This swim is set to be turned into 2 swims eventually. It's like a double swim. I haven't actually got round to doing it yet. It's yet to be constructed, but one half of it is done so far. Now the water around this area is a little bit deeper. It's kind of like where the overflow is. I've got depth to around 13 foot. It kind of ranges really. It's kind of like in a bowl shape. So it's anywhere between sort of like, I'd say around anywhere from 4 in the shallow part to 13 foot at its deepest. There's no humps and bumps here or anything like that. It's just kind of, you know, flat and curved, if you like, just into like a bowl. The weather for the weekend isn't looking particularly good. I've got the feeling we're going to see a little bit of rain here and there, but it is what it is. It's that time of year, you know, it's October now, so, but it's a good time of year to catch some fish. For this session, I'm going to be using the bait boat. Why? Because it's easy. Make your life easy wherever you can. I can use a bait boat here because I make the rules. So if I want to use a bait boat, I will. For those of you who enjoy your bait boats, then this is the place for you. Now I am going to be using kind of like just a mixture of pellet boilie, just like I normally do if you've seen my other videos. Same kind of mix as that. I'm going to get some rods out before it gets dark. Yeah, we'll see how it goes. Get some rods out and see if we can have one, you know, during the hours of darkness now, probably, because it's starting to get dark at about 6 o'clock. So let's get the rods out, get some bait in, see how we go. Right, so that is us all fishing, ready to go. It is now literally starting to get dark, so I've got a little bit of rain coming in now as well, a little bit of misty stuff in the air. So I'm glad I managed to get all that out before we got the rain. And yeah, first night in, we'll see what happens. I haven't even seen a fish yet, so I have no idea where they are or, you know, what is going on. I don't pre-bait or anything like that because I like to keep it normal, you know. I'm not into that sort of thing. So yeah, we'll see what happens, and hopefully, fingers crossed, one in the night. Well, good morning. Last night was relatively uneventful. I just had the one fish which came at about 8 o'clock in the evening. Wasn't a huge fish. It was just one of the little stockies that I put in 2022. They went in at about £5 or £6, and that one was up to around £10. So they've grown along nicely. Actually, the first time that fish had seen the bank, so yeah, it was nice to catch it actually. Other than that, it was a relatively uneventful night. Nothing really happened. I had a couple of liners here and there, but other than that, there was nothing else. As you can see behind me, the weather's relatively dry at the moment. The sun's out, the wind is picking up a little bit now, and we are due some rain this afternoon, and I've got the feeling that is going to carry on throughout the rest of the day thereafter. I'm just going to make the most of the sun now and have my cup of tea. Rods are still out. I'm just about to reel them in, do a bit of a refresh, and yeah, we've got another 24 hours, so we'll see what the next 24-hour holds. Well, it is the afternoon now, around about the 2 o'clock mark, and as you can see behind me, the weather's not great. It's starting to rain now, just starting to drizzle a little bit. However, I do have a fish. Just had this one off of the left-hand rod. Yeah, not the biggest fish in the world, but nice long male. About £15 that one, I guess, 14, £15. But a fish is a fish at this time of year. So it's not a blank, which is what I was afraid this might have been, because this time of year can be a little bit hit and miss in places, but fish are still mobile enough at the moment. The water temperature has cooled down a considerable amount over the last few weeks. Right, let's get this one back in. Well, what a difference 24 hours can make in the weather. We've gone from absolute sunshine this morning to fairly gusty winds and yeah, drizzly kind of rain. That is all set to continue until tomorrow, where we're going to see a little bit more drier weather, I think, by the looks of it. And then on Sunday, there is a mini low pressure system coming in. It's going to bring sort of 50-60 mile an hour winds, but I won't be here for that. So we're going to stay until tomorrow. We're going to do the full 48 hours, and we're going to see how it goes. So now we're heading into the evening now, and it's been a bit of a mixed bag really. I've had a few liners again, but no real pickups or anything of that nature. So let's see how the night goes, and hopefully we can have a couple during the night maybe. Well, good morning from what is a very, very wet fishery this morning. Last night the weather was pretty accurate. It did rain quite heavily last night, so much so that the secondary overflow on the lake is now flowing. So I've got a 2-tier sort of like overflow system on here. I've got a first one and then I've got a secondary one, and the secondary one has just started working. So that means that basically the water level of the fishery is probably risen by sort of like an inch overnight with the runoff. We did have some really, really heavy downpours last night, so much so that I was lying in my bed thinking to myself, well, I hope I don't get a fish right now, because it is hammering it down. As soon as you start thinking things like that, guess what happens? The alarm started screaming off. This was at about 10 o'clock last night. So I fumbled around, got my gear, and got my wet weather gear on, and I did manage to get out there and bring her in. It was raining that bad last night that I actually had to utilise the bivvy to do my my night shots with, because it was raining so hard I really didn't want to be outside. It was a nice fish though. It was a fish known as dot spot. Haven't seen it for quite a while. She went in at about 16 pound. It came out last night at about 21 pounds, so I was quite pleased with that. The weather for the rest of the day is set to be dry, so hopefully I can get all my gear dry. There's a big weather system coming in tonight again, which I won't be out here for because there's 60-70 mile an hour winds forecast with it. This place is quite exposed, and believe me, from my past experience, it's really not worth being out here. But we've got the rest of the day to fish with, so let's see what the rest of the day does and see if we can't have another one or two before we go home. Right, that is it from me. Unfortunately, no more fish to add. It's just got to about 1 o'clock now, and I am all packed up, ready to go. The weather's a bit hit and miss again. Behind me looks good, but to the west is looking pretty thundery, so I decided to cut my losses, pack up, get out of here while I can. Hopefully you've all enjoyed the vlog, and hopefully I can make a few more soon. Let me know if you like this kind of content, and comment below, subscribe, do all those things that you do, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.